What's up, Pleasantville? Have you jumped in on the word jumble game craze like Wordle? If you haven't heard of it, you are missing out. As an addicted Wordle player myself, I recommend it. It's a fun brain exercise, and you can send your scores to your friends or family and talk about the words and how hard they were or how weird they were. What I also like about it is that it is only one puzzle a day, one and done, and you can't go backward either. Only one, so there's no binging. However, it has actually become such a phenomenon that there are so many spin-offs. So if you feel like you have to keep playing, you can log into other versions that are flooding the internet that are slightly different. Do you like geography? There's Wordle, and you have to guess a country by the shape. Do you like basketball? There's Pole, where there's one NBA player of the day. Do you like to test your inner urban dictionary of naughty words? There's Loodle. Need I say more? There's even one for Tolkien fans, Lordle of the Rings. I decided to do an impromptu survey of Pleasantville residents who play, and I wanted to see what they had to say. Check it out.
We're here with Claire and Luca, and they also, well, actually, do you know the name of the game Wordle?
Yes.
Excellent. Do you play?
Yeah.
Tell me, when do you play? What time of day?
In school. I play in the morning.
When I'm bored.
before school.
Oh, do you play in class?
Yes, I do.
And you play in the morning before school?
Yeah.
I think it kind of gets your brain going. Do you guys share scores with each other or like with other people?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It's kind of, I think it's sort of a fun thing. Do you play any of the other spin-offs or just Wordle?
Not really.
Okay.
Just Wordle.
Just Wordle. Okay, there we go. So now we're in Starbucks, harassing the customers. And this is Deanna and Anthony. And I want to see, do you play Wordle?
Yes, I do.
You do? And
Yes.
what's your favorite thing about it?
I like that it's only once a day. I look forward to it every morning when I wake up. And I love being competitive and sharing all my answers with everyone.
Who do you share them with?
I share it with him, actually. This is my brother.
Oh, okay, cool.
And we have a competition with my other brother and our dad in a group chat.
Awesome. How long is your streak now?
Honestly, I don't even remember.
Oh,
I
wow.
started, I think maybe a little over 3 weeks ago, probably. That's when
Okay.
we started.
Okay, cool.
I didn't miss one. I didn't get one of them right. So
It's so heartbreaking.
yeah, it was very, it was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I almost just didn't want to play anymore.
Oh.
But we're back at
You
it.
can't give up. You can't give up.
We send each
Have you
other,
guys tried any of the spin-offs, like any of the other
I've been
ones?
playing Wordle. It's like the
the
four-word thing.
forward one, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That one is,
That's hard.
yeah, and a lot of the words are like random words that I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
For sure.
but it's, I still play that every day too. It's
Yeah.
fun.
I think it's really bringing people together, like families and stuff, trying something new, you know? So, all right. Thanks, you guys. All right. Now we're going to try to get some more customers at Starbucks to see if they play. Hi. Come here. Come here. Do you play Wordle?
I do play Wordle.
You do. What's your favorite thing about it?
I don't know. I think it expands my vocabulary.
Oh, we haven't heard that yet. That is an excellent answer. And then, do you share your scores or anything with anyone? Do you have any competitions going?
Yeah, with my friends. We all play at school. So
Do you play during class?
never.
Okay, good. Phew. 1 second. Hey, you, come here. Here's another. Do you play Wordle?
Yes.
Okay. What's your name?
Juliana.
Oh, Juliana. Hey.
Hi.
Nails, right?
Oh yeah.
Nails. We do our nails at the same time. Anyway, so you play,
Yes.
and do you still compete with all your friends too?
Yeah.
All right. Do you know how long your streak is?
No.
Okay. What's your score? Like, do you know your percentage?
No. I don't really get it on the first try or like the second try. Mostly on like the third or fourth try.
Oh yeah, same.
I'm not that good at it.
Do you get real nervous when you get down to like the fifth one, and you're like, oh my god, I only have one left?
Yeah.
I do. I get panicky.
Yeah. Because I don't want to lose, and then I lose my streak.
Right? Oh my god, it's terrible. All right, thanks. Bye. Hey, come here. Hi. Do you play Wordle?
Yeah, I do.
Oh my gosh, look at all these people. They all play. Okay, so tell me, why do you like it?
It makes me learn new words.
Yeah, and do you feel like that you are like spending a lot of time playing the game, or are you getting them pretty quick now?
I'm getting pretty quick now. Like
Yeah.
the more I play.
What's your first word usually? Do you always use the same one, or
I usually use ocean.
ocean? I have not tried ocean. I usually do irate. Does that say something about me? Thanks. Bye. Come here. Hi, do you play Wordle?
I do play Wordle, yeah.
All right, tell them why you like to play Wordle.
Well, I play Wordle because, I don't know, I just like heard a lot of people talking about it and I wanted to start playing it.
Yeah, right. Do you ever play with your family?
No, I don't. I don't even think
You know what I found? I play with my daughter now and another friend of ours, and we compare our scores. I found that it's actually something that's really fun for the family to do. Like, yeah, you know, kind of like have a little family competition going, especially like what grade are you in?
I'm in 8th.
Yeah, so like middle school and parents sometimes aren't always relating to each other, so maybe you could relate on a Wordle.
Maybe, yeah.
Thanks for talking to me. Bye. One more person I thought we should talk to is Marissa, who is an English teacher. And I thought, ooh, an English teacher. Does she play Wordle? Marissa, do you play Wordle?
I do not, only because I do not have the time with my teaching and mothering responsibilities. But I do admire it, and I think it's wonderful that people are playing a game that challenges them with their vernacular and keeps their brain going. I think it's great.
Right? I think it's a fun puzzle.
Agreed.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
This game craze also brings back memories for me, watching the original word game, Wheel of Fortune. And as it so happens, we have a recent Wheel of Fortune winner right here in Pleasantville, Jenn Sparano, and her story is very heartwarming. Check it out. What's up, Pleasantville? We are here with Jenn Sparano, who won Wheel of Fortune. And she's a Pleasantville resident, or she grew up here. And we get to meet her now. So, hi, Jenn. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So, what day did you play, and what day did it air?
So, I flew out to California December 1st. I filmed December 2nd, and then it aired January 31st.
Okay, and then tell us like a little summary of like how did it happen?
How did it happen?
Start from the beginning.
So, I had lived with my grandma throughout the month or the year of 2020 to 2021. So I lived with her the last 13 months of her life. She was a huge fan of Wheel of Fortune. We would watch it every night. Like 7:30 was like our time. No matter what we were doing, we had to break to watch Wheel of Fortune.
That's cute.
So I became pretty good at it, and I used to like scream on the couch at the TV. It was the most exciting part of our day. So
like, get that word, come on.
I know, and a lot of it, like you think watching from home, it's a lot easier than when you're there in person, which I could chat about later. But so I was living with her, and then when she passed, I didn't have a lease, so I moved to California with my boyfriend for the summer. So we were 20 minutes away from the studio, so we lived in Manhattan Beach for the summer. When we were there, I was like, I'm so close to the studio, I'm not working because I'm off for the summer. Let me try an audition. So I sent in a video thinking that I'd have to go to the studio, but it was actually all virtual.
Oh, wow.
So I went against other contestants. I had to do toss-up puzzles. I had to take a test. Virtually,
Whoa,
yeah.
okay.
The first part was the other contestants, and we were just doing toss-ups. So one was like birds and butterflies. One was a panoramic view of the Rocky Mountains, but I dropped the S, so I didn't get that one. It was tough. They used the rules that were on the show in the audition. So I did that, and then like a week later I got a call to tell me, or an email to tell me that I was picked, and they said it'll be 2 weeks to 2 years. So I had no idea when I was gonna hear.
Wow, okay.
So then I was waiting. I told my students, that was like my fun fact from the summer, I'm gonna be on Wheel of Fortune at some point. And they basically stalked me every time I was absent, which wasn't many times. I was absent once for a wedding. They were like, did you go to California? Did you film? They knew. So then mid-November.
And you're not allowed to tell anyone, or how does that work?
I could disclose that I was going to be a contestant, but that was it.
Okay.
So when I went out, I couldn't say anything.
Okay. Did you have to like sign
I signed a bunch of paperwork.
Okay.
Yeah.
Secret.
Top secret. So
did you tell anyone?
I told my parents knew, my boyfriend knew, my sister, like they knew that I was going, but then once I was there.
And you really didn't tell anyone that you won, and you like swore.
I told my parents.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay.
they
so
knew.
they knew.
Because they were like in my household.
Of course.
Totally sworn to secrecy. So I flew out. They called me mid-November and they said, can you tape on this day? And it was a New York City theme. So they told me the theme. And I had originally said, can you potentially get me out on a Friday so that I can stay in California for the weekend? I'd love to make a long weekend out of it. And she said, well, we handpicked you for this show. So I said, okay, I'll come. So I went December 1st, I took a COVID test. I was awake all night. I like could not sleep. I was so excited. I got the like official clearance that I was good to go. And then I went to the studio 7 a.m. on the 2nd. And that's when the day began.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So were you nervous? I mean, how did you feel? I mean, obviously you were tired because you were up all night, but probably a little adrenaline going.
I was very nervous. I had a girl come and do my hair. She gave me a nice blowout. So that like kind of calmed me
for
down.
sure.
It was a nice break from like pacing around the room studying. I had like my predictions of puzzles. So I had like, if it's a place, I think it'll be this. If it's food, I think it'll be this.
So you studied and planned for it.
Yeah, I had a whiteboard on the plane. I was like a crazy person studying.
All right.
Yeah.
So that goes to show you guys, you got to prep for stuff like that. I mean, I've heard that people on Jeopardy do that, like study categories and stuff, but I didn't think about it for Will. That's
so
really
I
cool.
studied the categories too, but we actually were, so I got ready and then we got there 7 a.m. I was on the Jeopardy set all morning, which was cool. So typically you can like bring friends, you could bring family, you could bring significant others, but we couldn't have anyone. So it was just us. So we got there and they actually had all the seats zip tied. So like you couldn't sit next to anyone. So it was just the 18 contestants that were there for the day.
Right.
And they filmed 6 shows a day. So Pat Sajak has a great job because he has for 4 weeks of tapings. It's 4 days, and they typically film back to back. So there was 3 days of taping in a row.
Wow.
Yeah. So they kind of went through everything with us. They fixed up our hair and makeup. They went through all the like legal stuff, like what we could talk about, what we couldn't talk about. And then we like went onto the set, which was the best part of all of it. It was so cool when we first walked on.
Right. It just feels so surreal that you're like seeing it and then you're in it.
Yeah. And I mean, the Jeopardy set was what we were on all morning. It was like shrink wrapped. Everything was covered in plastic because they weren't taping at the time.
Right.
The Wheel of Fortune set was like super bright. The car was there. The wheel was actually like not that big. It was heavy, but a lot
smaller. Is it like like a table size or what?
I would say it's like double the size of this, maybe like 7 or 8 feet.
Okay.
But the way that they film it, it makes it look like it's huge.
Yeah.
But it was heavy.
How hard? It was heavy to turn? Or
Yeah. So
did you get to practice before?
Yeah, they had us practice. There was like a practice round, and they went in order of our tapings though. So because I was the first show that filmed first, the Monday night show, I was like the dummy. So I was the first one to get up there. Because of COVID, they had like a COVID coach, and they had us use this like little grip on the wheel.
Weird.
So you had to hold on and then put your grip where you were going to spin and then pull. Which was like really tough to do at first.
Yeah.
So I really gave it a whip every time.
Okay.
I felt like the girls next to me were only spinning like 2 to 3.
Yeah.
So I might have been giving them a side eye during. So it's like, are they spinning it enough? Are they controlling where the wheel's going?
Was your arm sore after?
It was okay. I hit a few bankrupts, so I solved pretty quickly, and I did really well with the toss-up, so that's where I got like most of the money from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then, so what was it like picking up the cards and stuff?
So I hit the $10,000 mystery wedge, and before the round, in between rounds, they pull you off and they kind of like yell cut, and then Pat would run away. He would just like run behind the board to hang out with Vanna, and they'd pull us off the wheel, and they would say like, this is the round that's coming up. So for the round that I hit the $10,000 for, it's the mystery wedge. So they say like, if you hit the mystery wedge, if you don't have that much money, it could be worth taking the risk, but you really need to like weigh the pros and cons. So the puzzle, the 2 girls before me they both hit bankrupt, but they had the word art. And because I studied, I knew that it would be Museum of Modern Art, because there's not many other places in the city with art at the end.
Oh my gosh.
So like I hit the mystery wedge. I've like never had an adrenaline rush like that before. And I was like, I have to pick it up. I can't not pick it up. So I picked it up. And then I knew what the puzzle was. So I solved right away.
MoMA.
I couldn't get it. Yeah, I couldn't get it like at first. And you see, they actually showed it. Like my hands were kind of moving quickly because I think I was shaking. And then I solved right away, which was pretty cool.
Oh, I want to try and see if we can find that action shot somewhere and pop it up there. Hopefully you're seeing it right now, but here, fake it. Fake it on camera.
I picked it up. And then I turned.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
So any like backstage drama or Pat Sajak drama?
He thought my grandma was alive when we were doing the like initial interview with him, because the first time you see him is actually like right when he comes out. So he didn't come out before any of the taping started.
Okay.
So like the first time I saw him in the flesh was he was coming out to talk to me because I got the first toss up, which was a slice of pizza. And then I introduced myself. He said, "How did you get that?" I said, "I'm a nice Italian girl." Yeah. So in between the sets, he would make a joke about like me being Italian, and then he would run away. Right. But he, at the end of the show, I think I made like a funny face when he said like, "I bet your grandma's so excited that you're here." I reacted weird. I didn't cry. I just think I made like a face. So when we finished, because I won, I got to talk to him and Vanna at the end. And the first thing he said was like, "Your grandma isn't alive, is she?" Because he read like my body language to see. We got to talk to them. They were like super, super bubbly and friendly at the end when the camera was on. But when the camera was off, we didn't really have like much interaction. Okay. But we did have like the hair and makeup girls were super nice. They, in between rounds, were like fluffing me up, putting me. I had like no idea what was happening. Right. Which I'm sure cool.
The whole thing was kind of surreal, and it was hard to focus on actually like doing the puzzle. You think, I mean, when you're watching it, you're like, oh, I know what that is. I know what that is. And when you're there, I'm sure it was like, was it a lot more challenging? It was a lot more challenging. I like used to be like horizontal or like cuddling with my grandma, and you're like standing up. There's tons of lights on you. The lights the studio is really cold because the lights are really hot. When I did have in the toss-ups, which are like, you hear the music in the background, it's not spinning the wheel, there's no breaks in between, those were actually like my strongest part of that was my strongest part of the game because I think it was like such an adrenaline rush. Those they give you, so they give you the category on the side. So they would show me the category, and I noticed that the other girls were more looking at the board before it started, like to see how many letters versus like I was looking at the category. So when I saw food and drink, I saw the guy hold the card up. Like pizza was the first thing that came to mind. So the first puzzle was a slice of pizza. The next one was stretch limousine. And those you get like $1,000, $2,000, and the money adds up pretty quickly. Sure. And being a New Yorker, you really focus on like, wait, I know everything about you. Where were the other people from? They were both from New York too. Oh, it was a New York theme. So I was from Westchester, but I had lived in the city, so it was like kind of representing Manhattan. One girl was from Brooklyn, and one girl was from Queens. Okay. Yeah, which was pretty cool. But what else? There's a used letter board, which you don't know about at home, but to the left of the wheel board. So like you'll often see people kind of looking left, and that's where they tell you what letters have been picked. Yeah. So when they do, that's really making a mistake then if you're like looking at if you call out a letter and they say no, and you're like, dude, it's right there. So I would try and keep the letter that I was gonna call like in my head before, but again, I didn't really call that many letters because I kept hitting bankrupts, but then my total added up because of the other things and because of the big puzzle. Right. Well, I'm glad you took those risks anyway. I know. That's fun. And Pat at one point said, what did he say? He was like, wasn't that the easiest $10,000 you made? And I said, no, it was a risky $10,000. Right. So on Twitter, people like tweet through the whole show. Oh, yeah. And someone commented on Twitter like, oh, she just shut Pat down. Because I was like, no, it wasn't easy. It was actually hard to do, which was pretty funny. That's really cute. Yeah. So do you play Wordle? I just downloaded it, but I haven't gotten into it. But it's funny because I feel like everyone at work is so into it now. And then I went on Wheel of Fortune. They're like, it's my dream to go on that now. Right. I always try and figure out words with Wordle. Right. Do you play? I recently started playing, and my sister and my daughter and I, and then another friend of ours in Boston, we are always sending each other our little stats, what we got, what our stats were, and then the fact that it spins off. That now there's so many spin-offs from it. Too. Yeah, like a million other Wordle. There's Loodle if you want to do something naughty, and like swear words or like the Lord of the Rings one. Okay, it's crazy. Yeah, but what I love about Wordle is that you do the puzzle and you're done. You can't binge on it. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can play other games, but I always liked Wheel of Fortune as a kid. Yeah, and so this has kind of been sort of a fun craze that other people are talking about. Yeah, so you definitely should give it a whirl because it's very similar how you're talking about the sideboard of the other letters and putting that on there. Why do you think that puzzles are so interesting to people right now? I think it's like an exciting thing to do. I don't think there's a lot of great stuff going on in the world, and it's exciting to share and connect with people on some level, especially
I see people like posting it as their Facebook statuses, and then everyone commenting like for the day what they thought. So as I said, I'm a speech therapist. I work in a school. One of my students the other day was like we use Chromebooks sometimes. I'll do like digital lessons. He called me over, not doing what he was supposed to do, and he was like, "Can you help me with this Wordle?" And I was cracking up. I was like, "You're not supposed to be doing that." But sure, let me help you. Just because they all know that I just did Wheel of Fortune, and they like think I'm like the guru. They'll go on my whiteboard and they'll write like hangman type puzzles, and I'll have to like fill it in and see if I could solve it. But it's fun. It's exciting. And then when you see it on TV too, it's like awesome.
And if you're like a word person, of course and I mean, you literally study words.
Yeah.
You work with people about words and forming words.
Yeah.
So that's really, I mean, what a perfect fit.
When I went on, all the kids, like when I told them, they were like, "You're going to win. You're a speech teacher. Like this is what you do." So the week after I got back, we actually did like a wheel of speech, and we did all of our different speech skills, and the kids got to practice using their different skills. I had a bonus round, so I had pictures of they picked different envelopes, had like $1 million winner, and they loved it.
That's so creative.
Yeah.
That's really fun for them.
It was awesome.
I mean, honestly, especially right now with all these, restrictions and stuff, to actually get to do something that feels enjoyable while you're together and doesn't have to be that close.
And the parents loved it. I mean, they have to keep their masks on, so I'd send pictures with their mask on, but the parent, like some of my parents emailed me back like, "I've never seen his eyes like that." Like I could tell he's smiling so big. They won an eraser. I mean, it was different than my prize, but to them the eraser was like the biggest deal.
You know what? It's as my son always says, it's the joy of winning. It doesn't matter what you win.
Yeah, and that's how I felt too. Like, so for Wheel of Fortune, another thing, like a secret thing, you don't get the money until 3 months after the show airs. So like I haven't gotten a penny. I only spent money to go. They don't cover flights. They don't cover anything when you're there. So like all my kids were like, "You're rich. Like you have to buy good prizes. You have to do this. You have to do that." And I was like, "I'm not rich. I haven't gotten the money yet." Right. So you have to pay
and then taxes
in California first, and then here. So I have no idea what it's going to be.
You might be able to buy an eraser.
I know. But I honestly don't care. Like the fact that it's like everyone enjoying it. My friends and family came out. We had like a big watch party. That's like the stuff that matters to me.
I saw some footage of that. That's so cute.
Oh, it was so fun.
Okay, so emotionally, your grandma, like how do you feel about that connection of?
So I actually went to the cemetery before I went, and there was a little piece of paper in front of her grave, and it said ISY. So I went home and I was like, this is weird. Like, I think the puzzle is going to be noisy crowd. Like, I think she's giving me a sign. And then one of my coworkers texted me and was like, well, ISY can mean like, I see you. And it was the day that I went, I wrote like a whole letter to her saying like, I'm going on Wheel of Fortune. You got to look out for me. I told you 5 days after you die, I was going to buy a lottery ticket. Like, this is even bigger. And I was also, her favorite color was red, and I was on the red podium. Okay. So they pick the colors randomly. So I was like, I know I'm going to get red. I said this to myself. There's no way that I'm not going to get red. So I went up first. They were like, okay, Jen, you're red. And I had on a red shirt. So it all kind of, but she's been getting, like, when she passed, I had said to her, like, before, and I said this in my eulogy for her, like, we're going to keep your memory alive. And she's like been like in the front page of the Journal News and the front page of the Yorktown News, and her name is like fully out there. When we had the watch party, people were like chanting her name.
What's her name?
So her name was Antoinette Bianchini. Her full Italian name was Antoinette Carolina Ragazzino Bianchini.
Oh my goodness, love it.
But we called her Mima. So when I was on Wheel of Fortune, I said, this one's for Mima. And that was the chant. Everyone was chanting and wouldn't fire Mima, Mima, which was so funny. It was like right before the show started.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
they didn't know. All your watch party people had no idea what the result was going to be.
I kind of like ran around in between rounds. I was so nervous. I was planning on like eating, drinking, having fun, but I was just like talking to everyone. Like, this is going to be a good round, or like, get ready to boo, which they all loves. Yeah.
You're
but
so energetic. That's really cute. So you were
Yeah.
at Wood and Fire?
we were at Wood and Fire.
Wood and Fire, Pleasantville, yum yum.
Yeah, they did. It was awesome. So there were close to like 70 people. So I was working with the manager, just trying to make sure that like we could distance the tables and that it was like COVID safe. Because when I planned it, it was like in the height of like the recent spike.
Yeah.
So I said like only if we feel if you're comfortable, you're more than welcome to come. But all the tables were nice and spread out. The bar was full
like
of people.
little pods of families.
Yeah. But so everyone like got food and drinks, and then the show came on. So everyone was like kind of there in the beginning. So I got to mingle.
Yeah.
And I did favors. So my grandma and I used to bake together. So everyone got a bag of cookies. I made like these little thank you cards that said like, I'm so fortunate that you're at my watch party. And then I gave everyone a lottery ticket. So I bought like 75 lotto tickets. And there were probably like 10 or 15 winners, like $1. I think the big winner was like $15, but everyone scratched it at once and then they held their tickets up. So like once I won, then I wanted everyone to have a chance to win, which was fun.
I mean, God, you're so detailed. That's I want to be your friend and go to your parties.
I made them on a snow day. I was like, I have the time. I ordered, it was just like a business card, and I made like this cute little font and with my signature and everything, and everyone loved it.
You're so creative with your little wheel game for the kids.
Yeah.
I'm telling you could be like a really amazing party planner too.
Maybe one day, but it's just
for fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for coming. Oh my gosh, it's really a joy to meet you and to hear about Mima and just that connection, and also sort of bringing the town together and to talk about our amazing Pleasantville resident who had such fun. And then, so I'm really glad that you came.
Thank you.
All right, so see you later, Pleasantville. So if you decide to try the game, let me know if you like it. And as always, if you have a show idea or you want to come to the studio, let us know. You can reach us at pctv@pctv76.org. Have a great week. And remember, PCTV is your community voice.